Since today's film has covered every relevant subject, let's move forward right now, sit back, and unwind. There is no doubting the evidence. XRP and XRPL are being used by JP Morgan as an indisputable bridge. And gentlemen, it's just a matter of time, everything will sort itself out eventually. There's a big shout out to Cypress X in today's video. The recently released film honors Multi-Chain Nation with just 960 views. It encapsulates Axel's James and Ripple's Jazzy Cooper's opinions on the matter. When the value of XRP begins to rise, Moon hits double and triple digits in the market, which is operating properly. I will stop here since there is more intriguing stuff to discuss. Whoa! I felt compelled to bring this to your notice, as some of you asked for it. And we found a package, 9 substantial brown goods. There are now just 2 black larges in the wild. Okay, that leaves just 2 out of a total of 5. 2 tiny brown bits without any media come after the largest brown piece. There are less than 18 pieces overall. The 2 large ones are black, and the rest pieces are brown. Only the large and the extra large are left. Listen in on the Multi-Chain Nation podcast debate. In reply to Mr. James Frail, I find this absurd and wonder how soon the larger financial institutional environment will become accustomed to tokenizing certain asset portfolios that are accessible to the general public. Analyze the work JP Morgan finished on Project Guardian and the work Deutsche Bank is conducting with AXLR. You'll have to wait for them to release additional information about the testing they're doing for this proof of concept until they present their work on the project in November. All the same, this is fantastic stuff, and we're almost certain to have the infrastructure we need to proceed. We sincerely believe that Ripple can play a key role in leading the way for major financial institutions in tokenizing new asset classes. This will allow him to state with assurance that Ripple is going to have a big impact. You're important to the hub, everything we've been talking about on this channel, and the pieces of the puzzle that fit together. When they mentioned recalling Project Onx, Axel at JP Morgan asked, "Wow, Apostolo, do you remember this little diagram I made?" For tokenization, Wisdom Tree and JP Morgan supplied both conventional and unconventional assets. We had Onyx and Oasis Pro tokenize these assets on 3 different permissioned blockchain environments: the permission zone of the Provenance blockchain, the permission Avalanche subnet, and the Onx digital assets platform, to create this fragmented ecosystem. Axis and Layer 0 are 2 of the interoperability technologies we built to enable connectivity across these different platforms. In the future, people will watch these recordings and comment, "How is this something we're missing?" We were oblivious to the chance to make a huge fortune in an entirely new industry where everything of value would be tokenized because we were too busy doing other things. As you can see from their conversation, everything will go digital on a blockchain, and when it happens, it will create massive riches, the finest opportunity I'll ever have to earn a fortune in my lifetime. Take a look at what JP Morgan managed to do with Project Guardian. I'll summarize our previous conversations, but it's crucial to listen to what Jazzy has to say. As James said, Jazzy says that we're only at the beginning and that we're interested to see what happens next and when we unlock this value. Based on talks with many others, it's true that this is only the beginning. It's going to be crazy. A participant in the conversation is the project manager. Let's quickly review the project. Guardian requires cooperation from its participants. As you can see, authorities and the financial industry collaborate to increase the effectiveness and liquidity of financial markets through asset tokenization. Mellon BNY Citibank DBS Central Bank of Germany customized diagram. It is a fact that approximately 80% of the organizations on this list deal with Ripple in one way or another. In fact, they mention this fact openly in that PDF. A third-party service provider with a link to the trust anchor might offer the services. Service providers can avoid having to onboard participants one-on-one by assigning the duty to a trust anchor and having them remember to follow up with the entities mentioned above after a trust link has been established. Do you recall what the bank official from NSE said a few weeks ago? I mean, they're talking about a lot of meetings and closures right now. When we take a peek behind the scenes, everyone will be astounded, but from the standpoint of the user, what can this technology provide that was not feasible until now? I'll discuss how the term Internet of Value, which has been coined, is represented by the U symbol and revisit the Ripple ecology. The Internet, and the network we are building to enable money transactions between banks and payment providers, are central to our entire goal. Because of its remarkable similarities to the Internet, we refer to it as an Internet of Value. We refer to people's current Internet of Value as an Internet of Value. The Internet is a useful resource. I'm curious as to how he came up with it and the source of my optimism. I'm alerting everyone to the impending chaos in this circumstance. They're keeping a lot of locked doors under wraps, so they can't give you any information. Having worked in the financial industry for 10 years, in a regulated field, I am completely aware of what is happening. They will also be 10 times more subtle and 10 times longer in their behaviors because of how early in this ecosystem we are. Let's watch a video now that Daniel Eden has shared and listen carefully to what he has to say. He stresses building a useful network link and works at the BIS. The value of a network rises with the number of connected things when migration is taken into account. This is one definition of a network. I think we're all cycling back and forth in different ways, but for any network, there will ultimately come a critical mass, a tipping point, or a threshold where the new network becomes more useful than the old one. Are you being honest with me? Have you heard that? You will eventually make the switch from the old network to the new one, hitting a tipping point or critical mass when your worth in the new network rises. Gentlemen and women, this was a collaborative effort. Remember, as we come to the end of today's session, that I have been working on this for a very long time. Not overnight does a whole new financial system appear on the face of the earth. One of the most reassuring things that has ever happened to investors in Ripple holding bank IDs, which, as you are aware, is a joke and a swindle on their document page, should be the fact that XRP's value hasn't moved since its birth. This whole thing is a scam. Beijing Bank of Changsha Bank. Honestly, I'm not even familiar with a few of these institutions. I suppose we have the Bank of Shanghai with you. JP Morgan was bought out. I'll carry on acting in the same when talking about the bridge tokens that connect Ethereum and the Ripple open source website. Please go into more detail on why Ripple cannot be compared to any other cryptocurrency startup. The quantity of XRP that you want to bridge will be used in the XRP conversion to Ethereum. Imagine now that this amounts to trillions of dollars. Citibank has declared categorically that the volume will increase to billions each day. Now, are you aware of the significance of that trillion-dollar volume every day? For your reference, allow me to briefly demonstrate the coin market capitalization. The daily volume is currently $62 billion, but in the future, it is anticipated to reach billions of trillions. You know what blockchain technology is. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm quite curious to see how this technology develops into billions of volumes and scales regularly over the next few years. I am truly appreciative of all of you. Kindly provide your opinions in the space provided for comments below.